hello, everybody. It's me again, Brenda Ringe with It Is What It Is podcast with Powerhouse Property Group and J. Parr, the Sears Group. You know, guys, I'm really so appreciative and grateful that you guys tune in to listen to me, whether you're watching on our YouTube channel, Powerhouse Property Group, or you're checking us out on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts. You know, you can find us there as well. So I do want to tell you I appreciate you tuning in. Please do me a favor though, guys. You know, like it. What is that other word they say? Like it. You want to share it. And what else do you want to do? You want to be able to subscribe, because that's what's really going to help us. And if you've got, you know, fellow realtors that are interested in getting into this industry, shoot them this way. Share it to them. Let's get them on here. Let's have some things going on and topics, some great topics that we have. You know, I've been doing different things. I do agent spotlight. I do, because I really enjoy doing that, because I honestly feel that a top producer is anything. It has nothing to do with money, in my opinion. It has everything to do with an individual and how they got to a place to get into real estate or whatever it is that they do. To me, that's a top producer. What I love about J. Parr, the Sears Group, is that we have awesome people to team up with to make us successful. And today we have in the house Elizabeth Hooley. She is with Wedgewood Homes. Not only that, she is also a realtor, an agent with J. Parr, the Sears Group. But we're going to talk with her today because I want you to understand what this company, Wedgewood, really brings to the table for agents. And I don't ever want to hear people complaining they don't really have anybody to work with, when they do. They have a buyer. So here, welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're a busy lady.
Thank you so much for having me, Brenda.
Yes. So let's kind of talk about this. When I tell people Wedgewood, well, what does that mean? And what do I mean that we've always got a buyer in our back pocket when it comes to Wedgewood?
Well, a little introduction about Wedgewood is, as a company, we've been around for almost 40 years. Wow. And based out of California, LA area originally, but we've been moving across the country since our inception. And right now we're operating about 25 states and 800 cities across the country. We are probably one of the largest privately held renovation specialists in the country. And what that looks like is, I like to say we're renovation specialists, and we operate in the reimagine space because we consider ourselves to be not the standard fix and flip investor, if you will. So we really take a property, could be in any condition, in need of light cosmetics to really big renovations.
Right.
And we put just the very custom designer touches on it that perhaps is lacking elsewhere in the industry. And we really care about, as a company, revitalizing communities and making things better all the way around.
Okay. I love it. Continue. What else you got to say? So that's about the company.
That is about the company. And so, okay, so why is this an awesome opportunity? And as you said, why do you always have a buyer to work with?
Right.
Well, the great thing about Wedgewood, and I'll speak specifically to Texas right now, because, you know, we're in Texas, right? We're in Houston. And we do operate in multiple Texas markets. But our goal is to buy a lot of properties for this very purpose. And we recognize as a company that we can't do that. I can't buy 300 houses in Houston on my own. There's no way I can individually source that amount, but I can do it when I partner with awesome agents like yourself who have great local knowledge and are running into sellers or listings or off-market opportunities that need somebody like us, that needs an investor buyer like ourselves. And so where the opportunity lies is for a win-win between the agent like yourself who brings us a deal, who can represent us, and us as the buyer.
Right.
And we will buy and make offers on as many houses that fit our buy box that you want to bring to us.
Right.
And so you work with us on the buy side as our agent. Once we're done renovating the property, we also will give you the opportunity to relist on the backside with us.
That's
so
awesome.
One house equals 2 transactions. And repeat. Unlike some other investors who might only buy 3 to 5 properties a year, we buy in high volume. So there are some agents with us who really do 30, 40, 50 transactions a year with us.
We happen to have
how would that be additive to your business off of one client?
I know. That's exactly it. And that's what amazes me. We have one of our agents with us, I believe, is it Paula Miller?
That's right.
That has really, the Millers have really plugged into this and have utilized what you guys offer. I just want to kind of quickly say this too, because I'm a very transparent person and I say what's on my mind. Sometimes I try to be careful about how I say things. But I will say this. Every agent does. We get phone calls all the time on, do you have any properties? I'm an investor. Or we get our text messages and you get this. And there's no relationship there at all, but that they want to tell me they want to build a relationship with me, but I'll probably never hear from them again. It's not just me. They're going after all of these other agents, and I don't feel loyalty. For with you guys, I get it. You're still investors, but the fact is that we are able to truly build a relationship with you, with the company. If we just we're doing the same thing, and I never have to feel like, oh, I'm competing with other agents and this person doesn't care. I feel like y'all care and you work with us. I know that may sound kind of weird, but if I'm even saying it correctly, I would rather, knowing you guys, I've always got a buyer. I could say that same thing about as many text messages that I get on the daily from investors that I do not know that try to get my business. I don't feel like I trust to do that. Does that make sense?
That does. And thank you for that feedback. That really means a lot to me. Where I feel Wedgewood separates ourselves from other iBuyers or other hedge funds or other investors is we do really deeply care about the relationships. We understand we've only been able to be in business for 40 years because we believe in win-win collaboration.
Yep.
And we invest in our agents. We invest in the relationships that we have. We're willing to work with agents even with little to no experience if they're coachable and teachable.
Yes.
As you know, we do trainings for agents.
Yes.
We sit down with them for a couple of hours and we show them how to be successful to work with an investor. It's tools in their tool belt to understand the psychology between us, what we're looking for. We want to set them up for success to be able to source good deals. So they're not spinning their wheels and getting frustrated, want to quit on the process. And we're also able to, buy good deals. And we're willing to stick with it with an agent as long as they want to work with us.
Yeah.
And I think us taking the time and having the patience to do that and understanding the long-term play is really what makes us great.
Yeah, and I believe that because like I said, they just want other investors want our expertise, want our access to the MLS because they don't have it because they, didn't go out and get their license to do anything and they're not going to they rely on us. I could be working a full week to get you something and then I never, maybe, oh, well, my other person got me this before. It's just, you see where I'm going with that. I love it. I love what you have to offer. I've taken one of your classes.
Yes.
And I cannot say good things and enough good things about it because it really does. I mean, it opens your eyes to what you're looking for. Like you said, is it necessarily always easy? Is anything easy in life that you're trying to do? I would love to say that everything is, but it's what we do as realtors anyway. Our work is off at MLS. We're searching things, or if we're driving by, we're doing the same thing. And we're going to find maybe, like you said, off-market properties, or you're going to hear somebody talking about, and you're like, hey, wait a minute, let me go. I was at a coffee shop the other day, and I was hearing this couple talking. But I was on because I was on another, like a Zoom call. So I was like still listening and trying to do whatever because I so wanted to go up to them before I thought, okay, I'm going to be off this before. Well, they wound up having to get up and leave because they were literally, I heard him say something about look at this one on Zillow, like looking at a house, so it's the same thing. I'm listening to people's conversation. Had I not been on a Zoom call trying to do my own work, I would have sat and just made a conversation. Well, if it's the same, if I hear people talking about how do I know that they didn't have a house that they wanted to sell too? Maybe work needs to be done. We can come in here and say, listen, we've got, I wish that I would have, this was years ago that I would have had you guys in my back pocket for one friend of mine that was looking for something like that. I didn't know of anything.
Well, and that's the great thing too, is whether you're an agent and we just want to be your number one investor client when the opportunity comes up. For each agent's business, it's very individual. You know, we have agents that send us a property once every couple months.
Yeah.
We have agents that send us a couple every week. We have some that send us 10 houses a week, right? It really depends on how much you want to utilize our relationship for your business and be as aggressive as you want. Work it at any pace that you want. And so it's completely customizable. We just want you to know, like, we want to be there. We want to be the first person you think of, and we want to be the easiest person that you work with to get something over the goal line.
Yeah, and I absolutely love that. So, you know, just to speak out there to realtors that are out there and thinking, my God, this sounds really cool. It is. You know, you really need to so that's one thing. This is not necessarily, is this any realtors, not just necessarily a JPAR agent, right?
We'll work with any agent, correct, yes.
And seeing that's good. Bad, good, bad. No, I'm just kidding. Nothing bad about it. I'm just saying it's good because it doesn't matter where you're at. Because again, it's one of the, as we like to call them, agent toolbox. It's something that we have that JPAR, what we really focus on is providing tools for our agents to be successful. And it's there if you want it. It's like anything else. If you want it, you go after it. And the beauty is you're not just going, you know, blindsided. Or how's it? Blindly, not necessarily blindsided, but blindly, because you've got Elizabeth here and your team. You've got other girls that I know that we've met that, people will respond. You go into their site and you put in the property and like she calls it their, your buy box.
Yes.
And that's interesting because it's like, okay, well, buy box, what does that mean? Well, it's literally that. They'll tell you what they're looking for. You know, there's guidelines of certain things so that you know when you're searching, you know what it is. Okay? So that's what I think is awesome because sometimes, you know, we go in there like, what do I do? And then people get frustrated. Mm-hmm. But y'all take that away. For that.
Well, that's why we have those trainings, which we have our next one is coming up Thursday, February 23rd at the JPAR Katy offices, 10:30 a.m. to about 1 o'clock, open to all agents who want to go. You'll have an introduction to Wedgewood, who we are, how we do business, what that relationship's going to look like. But then we walk you through those steps. So as we said, you can be successful and really learn, first of all, how do you identify a property? How do you know if it's a good deal, right? Like really look through the eyes of an investor, specifically us, to know. So an agent isn't spinning their wheels, you know, just wandering out there trying to figure it out. We really help you put an agent's book guardrails on that whole context and conversation so you can have greater success out of the starting gate. And like you said, you know, we're all in sales, right? It's a numbers game. The more properties you look at, the more properties you send, the more offers you make, the more you're going to get accepted, right? Market depending, because a lot of times the market has everything to do with that, as we're seeing right now with the shift. But like I said, we're in it for the long haul. We didn't, you know, we haven't been in business for 40 years to you know,
get out tomorrow.
No, we've seen just about every real estate cycle, and you know, we've thrived through it all. And so we're an investor and we're a client that you can attach yourself to, and you know, create a win-win.
Yeah, and I love that. So let me ask you this, as people are listening, I know we have, like you said, your little buy box. What are certain things that you will not consider just to make that easier versus going to things that you would?
Yeah, each of our markets is different. I'll speak to Houston specifically right now. Right now, we really are trying to focus on properties that are 1970 and newer.
Right.
We really like to buy properties with an after repair value of $400,000 or less, with some exceptions depending on locations and the type of property. We do not buy in a 100-year flood zone. Right now, we're not really buying houses with location flaws, you know, backs to railroad tracks, sits on a busy street, you know, backs to a commercial building, etc. You know, in this market with more actives becoming readily available for buyers, we want good real estate, right? Like, we don't want to make it any more difficult for a buyer to say yes to our property. And so some things like that. But I've got a full buy box, and of course, you can learn about that at our training, or you can email me, and I'll, you know, send it over to you as an agent. And so should the opportunity for a property that fits come along, we'd love to take a look at it.
Oh, gosh, I love it. So, all right, guys, you heard her. Do you want to go ahead and like just give out what's easier for people to reach out to you? Is it your email, a phone number? What do you prefer? And we can give that, and I can even put it on the screen down at the bottom with your email, whichever you prefer.
I'll give both.
Okay.
My email is ehooley at wedgewoodhomes.com. That's EHOOLEY at wedgewoodhomes.com. And my phone number is 832-584-4644. Call anytime with questions. Invite you to come to the training. It's free. So we'd love to meet you, start the relationship there.
Yep.
I'm still big on face to face, shaking hands.
Yes, exactly. And I can attest to that. She's awesome. She comes into the office to help with that. And again, her team that is also available to help. I mean, you guys, if this is something that you get excited about because you hear about it, don't let that excitement slip away. Part of what we do is just taking action, right? So I can speak firsthand. I get excited about stuff, and then if I don't go and do it, it's like, then a week goes by. It's like, dang it. And then you're just like, okay, I got to get excited again. So really, if this is something you can feel like, it's like, I could really do well with this. I could learn, come take one of the certification classes at the office in Katy at JPAR and get plugged into it and figure out what you're going to do to, just keep making money. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I do appreciate you. Like I said,
yes, thank you so much.
I know you have a busy schedule, and for you to take the time out to come speak with us means the world to me. So thank you. So appreciate you. And all you guys out there that took the time to tune in, like I said, don't forget, you can check us out also in Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. You're probably viewing it right here on our YouTube channel with Powerhouse Property Group. Thanks so much, guys. And you be blessed. We'll see you next time.